All right, folks. Welcome from wherever you are. And this is the People's Platform once more. Uh, and this is the Echo Point. It is the Echo Point. We are going to be looking at this key conclusion here of today's conversation and basically analyzing exactly what being said here and be able to make sense of it or not. So 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 as we start, I need you to hold tight and share the show and enjoy it.
LBR TV of education, information, and entertainment starts now.
In the mix. Turn this up. With DJ OC King.
Because my Tana can you won't hold me with you. With a la line, call you. You want to hear warrior. Because my level only one school and carry. You won't eat me on lelo. My tenor only on offer. And I'm watching nobody want for me, I will see you. I pocket for me, you carry. I get money, my business. They try like did you water enemies, they won't see me. Poto, gill and chen, they will kill me. Soko. They just want me to die, la. Oh, did you water enemies, they won't see me. Poto, gill and chen, they will kill me. Soko. They just want me to die, la. My blessing rap, y'all like 20, popular, sardine, plenty like cartoon, where Jaluna. It's in the heart, they boss in the medulla, oh yeah. Blessing can follow me, all of my people let me, because my iPhone clip can work for me, like can work for me, yeah. Blessing can follow me, all of my people let me, because my iPhone clip can work for me, like can work for me, yeah. Oh, you, Baba, you cover my mama, pray for me. But they're waiting, see. Can't see nothing. When your belly see me, ask for me, you not see me. Because can't you won't hold me with you. With the la line, can't you? You want to hear and worry. Because my level only one school and carry. They won't eat me on lelo. My tenor only on offer. And I'm watching nobody want for me, I will see you. I pocket for me, you carry. I get money, my business. They try like need you water enemies, they won't see me. Poto, gill and chen, they will kill me. Soko. They just want me to die, la. Oh, need you water enemies, they won't see me. Poto, gill and chen, they will kill me. Soko. They just want me to die, la. I tell them free, you're alone. People are looking up to me. They say patient door, il est fantasme. Me and all my patient door, il est pauvre. Oh no, I know congratulations, definitely. I want the money from the grand to the ceiling. I want my people settle for me. I want a chop life on the low. I know congratulations, definitely. I want the money from the grand to the ceiling. I want my people settle for me. I want my woman see me on TV when it's my time for me. Oh, me got family rest for me shoulder. Family rest for me shoulder. When it's my time for me. Tell me, oh, I don't want to end like a failure. Love to show me a favor. Money can be bigger dance. Me want God, money make me oh. I don't want nobody to eat my show. $1 million poor people. The power just here with all my own. What's your blessing now overdose? The money come my friend, the wrong people. You don't be knocking the door, shall be open, no. Seek and yes, shall find. As you ask, and that will be given to me. So right now, I'm on my knees. Yeah, they give me all of my needs. Yeah, you're my friend indeed. Yeah, my friend indeed. I know congratulations can't finish. I want the money from the grand to the ceiling. I want my people settle for me. I want a chop life on the low. I know congratulations can't finish. I want the money from the grand to the ceiling. I want my people settle for me. I want my woman see me on TV when it's my time for me. Oh, me got family rest for me shoulder. Family rest for me shoulder. When it's my time for me. Tell me, oh, I don't want to end like a failure. Love to show me a favor.
Frankie, yeah. Yo, Frankie, my man. Yeah. Bass, yeah. Very good, You you got your money. I don't care. Hey, you a baller in town. I don't care. As long we are the same place. I don't care. Say I don't care. I'm not living where you are. I don't care. Let it go, I let know it for me. Oh, I don't care. I get that you. I don't care. Who said that they won't play for you? I don't care. I see some people hate me on the way I move. Things I do, wanna know how I pay my dues. Yeah. And I know all they worry about me, oh. Hey, Frankie never get somebody to.
Yes, folks, welcome right here.
Small,
Welcome, folks, right here till the Echoes Point. This is the Echo Point coming to you direct, live and direct from Minneapolis, Minnesota to People's City.
You got your money.
Please like, follow, comment, and share.
As long we are the same place.
J Melvin, we are going to be listening to J Melvin and the national issue that he has to speak about. Yeke Koluba situation.
I don't care what they say about you.
And the former finance minister.
I don't care.
To the other national issue. Digest them.
And I want to see from Quibley, what you from where some the big get in their post. What did they say? What did they not say? But anything they say. Say you what a bully, walking bully, all in the blue. What did they say? What did they not say? But anything they say. Say you what a bully, walking bully, all in the blue. Mango, I be calling for you. Yeah, every you call me, I be running for you.
While are you choking my ex?
Oh, yes.
Somebody bad there before.
I
tell you, I just want
welcome, folks, to the People's Platform. The Echo Point.
Sit down, my pikin sit down one side. Then I judge a slapper. They want a champion league, so get with to your senior player. Hey, tell you, say that blue. Maybe you say that you. So way back home when I used to take Baosa. Way back home when I used to play man torture. No calling me. I hate my person. Now for your telling. Till I'm in your young to your end, tea to your friend. Till I'm in your coat to your wedding. Now you know the love in the air. What should be there? What you mean like close to your wedding? If you now want me, tell me if I fall, would you be for yourself?
Please share, like, follow, and comment.
Because my people ain't love what you're telling. If you now want me, tell me if I fall, would you be for yourself? I don't want to be a party because my people ain't love what you're telling. There is something that I want you to know.
Oh, yes.
President from my heart and my soul. If you ever need somebody cry, you need a man.
Yeah, folks, go ahead, please. Share the show.
I love you right.
Like, follow, and comment.
You love me, so don't find my baby. And I just want to hear it. You love me, tell you my head. Baby, now when you tell me when
That's how we do it right here, man.
I just want
In the people's city of Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Baby, now when you tell me when I go, you think I tell me that.
Precisely coming to you from Bloomington.
You ain't that way I tell you, yeah. I just want you to be real with me, mama. And I want to see this and see some. I pray that this love doesn't bring drama. I can't let you go. Girl, I can see you in the moonlight. I look into your brown eye. And everything is alright.
All right, again, folks, I said welcome, depending on your era and location. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is right here, your companion right here known as well. Going to be keeping your time here, keeping you up, or pretty much keeping your company, for some time. And we have some important issue to look at regarding this situation and incident that we have been having, within the mother's land, strictly Mama Liberia. Something, of course, that concern every Liberian in and out of Liberia. This is very important, very, 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 very important. Things that still seems to be trending, things that basically a national issue and isn't going anywhere anytime and anytime soon enough. We cannot ignore these things here. Now, looking at the Yeke Koduba situation, which is still trending, saying the court hasn't given its ruling rather. So some people are still assuming that Yeke Koduba is still a representative. How interesting is that? Taking into consideration what even led to the decision of the House against Yeke Koluba. And then the next issue here, which is very, 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 very well, as important as it is, Samuel Twe, the former finance minister. Looking at the Court C ruling, looking at the decision of which they came to, there are still some people unsatisfied with the ruling. Why? There are others, of course, who feel that justice was done. But what if we look into the future? What does this has to do with the future? How does it affect, the future? What do we intend to see happening tomorrow? Is this going to be repeated? And what or exactly how the country is going to be affected by that? So these are all important things to look at. These are things that cannot be overlooked, regardless of basically which administration comes into power, cannot be overlooked. So we still, of course, going to talk about those issues. And the number is going to be put up here. If you want to, if you have an opinion, to share with us, you can call the number, or it's going to be put up here later. So let's listen to Jim Melvin right here.
It is an opportunity to be here this morning to express my opinion on these national issues permeating in the corridors of our airspace. I think it is proper, it is important for people like us to state our opinion on the doctrine of separation of powers under the rule of law. I think this country, the path that the Republic of Liberia is on, we need to be taking. We need to look deeper. We need to do things that will help this country not to reverse to the ugly past that we have had. Now, on those basis, the first thing I want to speak about, I have been following the process that led to the purported removal of Yekewa Koluba from the offices of District number 10 in Mosorado County. I think people like our opinion and our pieces of advice based on experience should be taken into serious consideration. When that ensued, I am not disagreeing with them that they don't have right, they don't have authority to remove Yeke Koluba. I think the process that led to the purported or so-called removal, it is where I have no problem. Now, see, we've gone almost 30 days. Now, no vacancy, even though the law says 90 days, vacancy should be declared at the National Elections Commission, but nothing has been done. So if the court, they send stay order, I believe strongly what the justice in chamber is faced with right now. And this is my call to the President of the Republic of Liberia, that the other branches of government should not continue to be interfered with. I am seeing the evidence by what Daniel Sando from the Ministry of Information said. That was to indict and desecrate the sacredness of the presidency of this republic. If you have people who got those kind of minds in the corridor of power, so many things happen. Daniel Sando has a privilege to sit and associate with the presidency of this republic, was able to say in public and told the world that we and President Waka removed Yeke Koluba for a single reason. The single reason for his removal was a statement he made about Liberia and the Guinean crisis. I think that was not his place. It was wrong. It's clearly expressed the interference in another branch of government. It means that the decision that led to the removal of Yeke Koluba was not an independent decision. It was being influenced. And if you come in the public and say that, it means that the constitution of this republic and the doctrine of separation of power that have been undermined by the executive. Now, the justice in chamber, Justice
Okay, folks, let's just take a break right there and just look into what he just said. Daniel being able to, speak to the issue, stating obviously that, they and President Boyka took this singular decision on the position of Yeke Koluba. Now, tell me, is it the very first time that has happened? Is it the very first time that other branches of the House being involved in making decision over one person? Normally, when it comes, especially when it happens within the House, the president usually have something to do with it, including other cabinets, other associates, within the House being involved. Or the mere fact that Daniel had to come out to be very upfront about what they did. Now, let's take a step back. Even Yeke Koluba, what Yeke did, national issue, you think it was right? Something that the nation, something that up to now, the country is still paying for. Something that it has been basically proving that his statement having serious weight on that border issue, that being played consistently in the foreign land, proving that the decision that the Guineans took is exactly right. And of course, they are not wrong. I saw a video on Facebook. I will look for you to share it because probably others did not see it. The Guineans soldiers came over meeting with the superintendent of Lofa, and they had a lengthy meeting regarding that border situation and issue. Even to the extent that their commander made it clear that taking that position was necessary, and that if anything Liberia wants to do, they will start the fighting on the Liberian soil before it goes anywhere else. So that's why they had to make that move. Have you guys thought about the weight and implication of Yeke Koluba's statement? Though whoever responsible for what really made the Guineans to take such a decision needs to also to be taken into custody, needs to be brought, forth. But Yeke Koluba took an oath. He knows that. All of them in the House knows that. From the day they were chosen, from the day they were elected, to protect the sovereignty of that country, the soil, not just the district or the people that they rule over. So obviously, what Yeke did, I stand on my word. I continue to pound on it that it is treasonable. It's treason. Yeke knows that. If that was in other foreign country, Yeke would be penalized seriously for that. Yeke would be even in court. It doesn't matter he had to go, do something beyond that, like picking up arms or whatever. But just the mere fact, the very oath he took, he went against it. It wasn't even in his place to make such analysis. So what if all the laws maker of the House gets up to say the same thing and do the same thing? What becomes of the country? Then why did he swear to protect the sovereignty of that nation and its people? Why? Why are people even particular about Yeke Koruba's situation? The very men, that don't even speak peace of the country. The man that comes up and brag, as much as he's making and how he's supporting his family immensely out of the country, how he do have so many properties. He didn't come into the country to invest, to help build the nation. He's even worse than George Weah. Yes, I said that he's worse. When some of us thought that George Weah had so much investment outside the country and were developing other people, nation and thing, were unjust to the very country that made him. But Yeke Koruba's statement alone proved that we have even people that are more than George Weah. And he's proudly saying these things here without any regret. Up till now, Yeke can boldly come on air and still insult the presidential seat. Yeke comes on air and make all kinds of, a statement that doesn't even suit the president. All because of people like these. People that keep on encouraging him. And the thing is, a lot of these guys in the house now are afraid of those actions be taken because they know why they are consistently supporting Yeke is because they know when they do slip, when they do something that is totally out of context, of course, the law will take its course. They want to be able to do things and get away with it. They want to continue to pollute, the law of our country. They want to be able to do things with not even caring and bothering about, how it affects the nation. So anything evil to see, they must support it. Anything evil to see that they know it has the potential of actually, punishing them, they go against it. Liberia needs to be fixed. I always tell people, this old man, regardless of everything and anything, he has made his name. He has, paid his fair share of quota. He's like 1/4 out and 1/4 in the grave. His family, they are set for life. So even he died today or tomorrow, he has no regret. Whatever he's doing is only in the interest of the Liberian people, and the commoner. Our citizens, our people down there, the common men who just sit up and think that because of partisan they put before country, they are not thinking straight. Because, as I said earlier, this old man, he has nothing to lose. As compared to all these, energetic guys that are into power, they know that obviously they still have to enrich themselves and enrich their family, like Samuel Twe. So they don't care about the masses. It doesn't matter how you guys are shouting out there, Samuel Twe case, you are running your mouths all around that, the government have lost and all those stuff there. But as I said in my other podcast, the court has set a bad precedent. It has. If this were during the time of George Weah, and George Weah was pursuing a case, I can tell you for sure, they couldn't say that George Weah wanted Samuel Twe to be found guilty and they announced Samuel Twe is free. Hell no. We saw what they did to Cabinet Janet. We saw how they forcibly removed Cabinet Janet. We saw when Jefferson Koji ordered them took to the street with cutlasses and things in their hands. This could not have happened, seriously, during the George Weah administration. they will get what they want, like it or not. But today, they're singing praises song to the court because it's in their interest, and to the commoner. You guys don't know what you are doing at all. You guys don't know. Because these people are not sharing their wealth, their riches, and things that they are harvesting. They're not giving it to you. You're shouting. You see, we Liberians, most of us, I would say that even everyone, we are so naive and we are so foolish. We don't think properly. How does this benefit you and your children? All you're doing, you're going to the court, you just want to say as a partisan, like you're better in the wheelbarrow, that my man from my party is free and the other party lose. You think it's about a party? This is about the nation. Do you know how much that money could have done for the nation, for the country? Do you know? Can you just anticipate for a moment? Or when it comes to the medical, field or the medical facility, what it could have done to help treat the poor. Go in JFK, Nation Hospital like that. Go see how poor it is. Your people go there for treatment. They don't even really have bed to lie in. You got to be able to bribe your way. You got to be able to obviously find something to put in someone's hands before they can find bed. Yet, but there will be empty beds lying there in the light till you said no bed. After you have been diagnosed and things, then they give you slip. They tell you to go outside and buy your drugs. But sometimes they are very specific. They will tell you, say, where drugstore to go. That's their own drugstores and things they're sending you to, or their partners. They don't even have the equipments needed, even in a hospital, to properly treat people. A whole national hospital. Look at the situation of the country. Look at the roads that needs to be built. Other issues, national issues going on in the country. That one man took all that money and fled with it. Make sure he clean up his record. That because the court is saying there isn't any evidence, there's no proof that he stole the money, so he should be set free. Refuse to set a precedent that the next people will not be brave and bold to repeat or to do such a thing. That's why I keep on saying, tomorrow, if UP do it too, the next administration coming to power, what will they say? And don't tell me, say it is impossible. Right now, the finance minister there, that UP. And you can't tell me that Samuel Twe is the only smart and eloquent man. He only set the platform for the other people. He set the stage for them. The current finance minister can definitely start stealing, or even as worse as stealing more than what Samuel Twe have taken from the cover. And I hope this podcast reach, the very court of Liberia. So they should remember that tomorrow, they will not come after the other people too. Because I'm expecting this to repeat itself. The people know now it's not about justice, because if we want to talk about justice, there was no justice done over there. It's rationale. We understand that. It did happen. But he cleaned up his mess And as I continue to say consistently and repeating myself, if that was in America here, if that was here, it has happened here, even if they had to put that far away until they can come up, out there with relevant evidence, it will sit there, dust will cover it. 2 generations to come will come immediate, and every generation that comes, they will open that file until they see every reason to come out with a conclusion. But we know this is no rocket science. It did happen. It happened. So why you guys are coming out, being so naive and looking at this thing like a partisan thing here, instead of it being, a national thing, a country issue here, that's the same politics they play with the borderline today, Liberia is suffering. Everything, they must play politics with it. How Liberia is going to improve? How? Everything is not politics. It needs to stop. Y'all, the country men and women, y'all said that the Congo people had taken over your system. The Congo people had taken over your country. Y'all, the indigenous people of the country. Y'all were educated enough to take over your country in your seats. Okay, y'all came with violence and took it. Y'all put the Congo men and thing to the pool, shut them down. But since y'all took over, from the door time, that country has never been in peace. That country has never experienced development and love. That country has never moved on. Even the blood of the innocent still cries from the soil. Chaotic situation keep on going on in that country. And so many of your ignorance to the fact that even a countryman is not doing well for that country. That your own people are the ones exploiting and destroying that country to an extent that it is going to come. Liberia is going to end up falling under foreign hands, foreign nation, back to the slavery old days. There are a lot of you who has the capacity of living abroad now. Y'all take your children abroad, and your children are the ones that are going to be successful in life, while the countryman, while the other man down there, he's suffering, he and his children and family. That's why a lot of our local men and women down there, when we're talking these things here, we are not speaking in the interest of those self-made, corrupt, money men and women in that country and there. No. We are speaking on behalf of y'all, the common man down there, where y'all ignorantly don't even know you're rolling all on the ground and celebrating while your people are stealing and exploiting and damaging that country to normal nonsense. Damaging that country to normal nonsense. For what? Let's see again.
Kaba, I feel for him. When you pen pot the child, it will reach to a point that it becomes a dangerous thing. I think the Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court said a bad precedent that led to the removal of former Speaker J. Fonanti Kofa. When you start to play with people, when you start to temper around people who don't understand the law, will not have appreciation. When they violate the law and you tend to back them, they will always disrespect the code. I think this is the situation that we have. Now, the justice in chamber, but for a reliable information, the dilemma is whether or not the precept that was sent to the House of Representatives was served. That is his difficulties. Now, if he cannot determine that precept was served, there is a problem. Now, in the mind of Justice Kaba that I have so much immense respect for in the judicial, the judicial cycle of our country. I was a young boy in Bong County. I witnessed and I saw this man presided over $4 million knockout of gold case. And during those days, Francis Galawo, former senator of Bong County, they were the lions. When they spoke, the earth trembled. So this man challenged and said that this defendant, the man who were prosecuting these people, they were not going to get anything out of that case. Justice Kaba said the law will be the law, and he upheld that. They spent justice, the ordinary people got the justice they want. So now, Justice Kaba has two issues in my mind. Constitutional issues were raised by Yeke Koluba, that law, due process are required by Article 38. We listen to our rules and order here. If you have somebody like that, advising the speaker, advising the leadership, this country is going to serious problem. Now, this man was saying, oh, here there is a doctrine that when you bring your lawyer here, you don't talk here. All you can do here is for your lawyer to sit down and for your lawyer to listen. And if anything the lawyer wants to say, then you talk to your lawyer, and then you yourself will answer for yourself. When you do that, then why you ask the man to bring lawyer? The primary responsibility of a client hiring a lawyer is for that lawyer to provide a defense for legal accusations that will be placed against the person. But right now, that did not happen. So Yeke Koluba is saying the due process laid down required by Article 38 cannot be determined by the House. Neither the rules of the administration can be determined by them. That authority is determined and defined by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. And only the Supreme Court has the jurisdiction. You saw when the very group of people that the Chief Justice, at a particular time, they referred to the Chief Justice as Lekoto. Now, you try to maximize them. At the end of the day, see the kind of disrespect that the court is having. And the court should not be in that kind of place. So right now, Justice Kaba should do the honorable thing, not to listen to any pressure again, as Daniel Sano said. Now, it has not come from the legislature. It's now at the judiciary. So the judiciary now is now faced with a serious problem. Justice Kaba has to determine whether the stay order was served, and if it was served, it means that Yeke Koluba was not removed. Now, the benefits of Yeke Koluba must be paid for his award to the speaker. And to no disrespect to Richard Kuhn, I think he was inclined.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, Justice Kaba. The truth being told here, you know, Liberia being played with long time. Not just today. Since the whole time. And even when Ellen were leaving power, look at the far game that Ellen played. Instead of supporting her very party that supported her and brought her into power, she went against her party that she got suspended. Expelled, in fact, from the party. And went on supporting the CDC. Went on supporting the CDC. So why is he talking like, you know, this is the very first time? Why? Talking about Yeke benefits should be paid. What benefit? What benefit that should be given to Yeke? You're talking about persecuting Yeke for treason? You're talking about the act, the singular act that Yeke committed? You're talking about Justice Kaba not being tampered with, and when he has already, you know, being polluted. You don't worry about this incident, even of Samuel 12 repeating itself tomorrow? But you're looking at the Yeke benefit being paid. What benefit? Oh, you want to pay Yeke for signing with foreign nation against the country he swore to protect. He took oath to protect. You want to pay him for that, right? When he stood on the airport and widely claimed that that portion of land belongs to Guinea, stood against his own country, nationally, even if he had to say it for the love of God, should he have said it in public, in the open, that made that recording to go all over nationally until it crossed the Atlantic Ocean, it crossed into other foreign land. Even the very Guineans took his comment and started playing it on the radio and interpreting it to the people, that made the people to, hugely support the military decision. Is that the man you're talking about, his benefits should be paid for going against his own nation, the country that put him there to make him rich, like how George Weah got rich, and the others like sedition, like Samuel 12 and thing. So it's sweeting you. This is pattern. This is something that really interesting. Y'all keep on making cases for others, only in your own interest. What a shame.
I said, look, Mr. Speaker, until this matter is finalized or is determined by the Supreme Court, I think Yeke Koloba benefits should be given to him. I am not supporting. I disagree with anything that would disenfranchise this republic. I am not.
You see the hypocritical behavior here. He's saying Yeke Koluba benefits should be paid. But then again, he's saying on the other side of his, oh man, I don't even want to be unprofessional. But he's saying on the other side of his mouth that he's against what Yeke did. He distanced himself from it. How can you play a double standard game like that? How? What do people take LBR to be? Seriously. You are rewarding, you are advocating for a man to be rewarded. Something that he doesn't deserve, the evil he committed. Then you turn it around, the hell around, to say with the other side of your mouth that you distance yourself from the very evil you advocating for to be rewarded. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. What a Liberia is some kind of country. Oh. Liberia is some kind of country. Liberia is amazing. You said that the man should be rewarded. A benefit should be given for the evil he committed against the nation. Then you are saying you distancing yourself from the evil that he committed. Oh, God. I wonder if the guys there can listen to themselves when they're talking. Oh, God. All kinds of leaders, our people, unfortunate leaders, our people choose to represent them. This may no different from Yeke Koluba. I mean, if he hasn't even done the same thing to steal and think he can do it. The man can sell that country, you get him chance. How the freak in the war that you will say Yeke should be awarded for the crime he committed against the very country he sold to or he took oath to protect. Then you turn around, you say that you're not in favor of though what he have said, and you distance yourself from what he said or he did. Does that make sense? Mr. Representative for Dist Representative Bong County, does that make sense to you? Why you should play this kind of game with the Liberian people? Our people say they don't carefully watch the news. What sense does that make? And listen to a foolishness.
So putting the purported statement made by Yeke Kolba. No, I want to distance myself. I think the terrorist now is now faced with a serious problem. Justice Kabah has to determine whether the stay order was served, and if it was served, it means that Yeke Kolba was not removed. Now, the benefits of Yeke Kolba must be paid for it. I want to this.
The very first thing here was served. It was served. The problem Yeke got is that because he said that it was served to his secretary and not to himself, so he believed that it wasn't served at all. But it was served. And that's why you're saying you're advocating for his benefit to be paid?
Speaker, and to no disrespect to Richard Kuhn, I think he was inclined. I spoke with him. I said, Mr. Speaker, until this matter is finalized or is determined by the Supreme Court, I think Yeke Kolba benefits should be given to him. I am not supporting. I disagree with anything that would disenfranchise this republic. I am not supporting the purported statement made by Yeke Kolba. No.
Oh, God. Liberia, what a country. What a country. Folks, what do you have to say? Liberians, what do you have to say about this? Just this statement, what you have to say about it. Speaker Richard Kuhn, you telling Speaker Richard Kuhn that you believe Yeke benefits should be given him. Though you are not in favor of what he did, he should be rewarded for the evil he did. He should be rewarded for betraying his country. But though you are not in support of what he did, this man should even be booted out of seat. That's a betrayal as well there too of our country. That means that himself, in other terms, when you look at it, he strongly believes what Yeke said is true. He also another man that have committed treason. And he should be taken to court, bundled with Yeke. He wholeheartedly, openly is saying that what Yeke said is true. That piece of land belongs to Guinea. That's why he's advocating for Yeke to get his benefit. This is another man that, in fact, the House needs to carefully look into and take a serious and drastic action against. This is no rocket science again. Like it or not, take it or leave it. If he's advocating for Yeke to be rewarded for the evil, for the betrayal that Yeke have committed against the very country he sought to protect, that means that Birds of the same feathers flock together. That means that he agreed. He totally agreed that Yeke is right for what Yeke said. And this is something that, again, when Guinea here, or the world here, Liberia continues to be in more trouble. So he should be brought forth and he should be questioned about his statement. This identical representative of District 3 of Bong County, he should be questioned.
I want to distance myself. I think the territorial integrity of our country.
Look at nonsense. I want to distance myself. Distancing yourself from what?
Is a problem.
You have already said it all.
I know that the like of Daniel Samuel will be going there and telling him, say, do the wrong thing. And Justice Kaba, I'm calling on the Supreme Court, the justice in chamber. It is about your integrity. It is about what will live after you. The cases that you determine.
You want to talk about integrity? You just finished damaging your own integrity, your own image. Just the mere fact of you agreeing, supporting what Yeke said, for you advocating for Yeke to be paid benefit, simply means you agree to everything Yeke said. You are in line with Yeke betrayal. You damage your own reputation. This is not something you got to be a lawyer, or you have to be in government in order to know what you are saying. It's common sense. Very much common sense. You as well, you damage your own integrity.
The way you adjudicate those matters, the international community, our international partners are watching you. They know what is right and what is wrong.
In the very first place, I agree with you. They are watching. And that is why when Yeke said that, the Guinean took it seriously. That is why our people, even when they went, out there to give their report, they couldn't even mention it. That is why the Guineans are very persistent on being on that spot. Because they're watching everything. They see your support. They see your as your core being honest. So we the Liberians, whereas you're lying to us. They say, look at their own people. Their own people that are supposed to be fighting for them. Their own people are saying that it belongs to us. They are watching. How foolish you can be, you call yourself representative. You're not even thinking straight. You just taking words out of your mouths that you are not even sifting properly.
So stand up for the right thing, stand up for the truth, stand up for the law, and know that the LAW is the law. It's blind, it sees no favor, it sees no authority, because any country that does not respect the rule of law, that country poised to go to war. Now, so that's some of the things.
So that's why you take advantage of it, because it's blind. It does not see anything. So it shouldn't even see the truth because it's blind. Oh, God. Liberia is some kind of country. Liberia is some kind of country. Liberia is some kind of country. I'm just afraid of what the future has to offer for that country. Some of us we got the gift of sight. We can look at things from where we are. We can look into the future, and we may not be 100% right, but we can absolutely be close to it. See, all of these things that are happening today, UP will do their own. Not only that UP will do their own, but this will be a norm that other government that comes into power will as well do theirs. It will be a real massive thing to stop it. It will take a bulldozer to stop these things from reoccurring or happening. Yes. It will take a bulldozer to have it stop. I'm telling you, people. So I am disappointed in what this guy is saying.
I want to talk about, and then I strongly believe the issue from criminal proceed that were determined by the court. Now that see, yes, the opposition, we should not make it look that this case, the only interest that the opposition had was about Samuel Tuwe.
Now Samuel Tuwe una Yeke Koruba incident that he couldn't even analyze properly or being biased, talking on the other side of his mouth, making himself to look like, a complete disaster. It's regrettable that District 3, Bong County, has to have such a representative. It is disappointing. I feel for them. Honestly, I would say this. I feel for them. Marvin Cole. They see where we're yeke. Go look at his district. A guy from Hot FM went there to do a review of District 10. And looking at from the time Yeke took over and up to present, you can't even feel the presence of Yeke in that district. The district looks dilapidated. The district looks so poor. Disaster. Mess. Stinkiness. Disorganized. Even the very house the Yah man lived in, his late mother, it is so discouraging. Yeke. I bet if you visit Marvin Cole district in Bong County itself, y'all be discouraged too. Yes, y'all will be discouraged. Of course. And I bet Marvin Cole has sedition. All the seditions now are firing out. Since they say Samuel Tuwe or CDC won the case against UP. Not against the country now, but against UP. All of them, one way or the other, they're coming out of their Opason holes and talking nonsense. They're coming out and talking nonsense. Yes. They are coming out talking nonsense. What do you think, Liberians? What do you think?
This time myself, I think it was not correct. Yes, in as much as this is a victory, a bitter victory. That is, Samuel Tuwe is released, but we got principal actors from the opposition that are not being incarcerated, that are not being brought down guilty. So what is it? Are we going to be celebrating while those families are mourning, they are crying? I think what the opposition should be able to do was to empathize with those individuals that are being implicated in the verdict that talks about $6.2 million. So the CDC, the entire opposition community should muster up the courage. We should not see this thing.
Yeah, we should not. That's $6.2 million. That's $6.2 million. I think that's small money. Yeah, he's saying we should not see this thing here as victory or whatever. Meaning that he's a sedition. Himself too, now you see he twisting him off. He wants Samuel Twe to recognize him to call him for a part of lating on the side. Because Samuel Twe had to bribe those judges there. I said it first, I will still say without favor and fear. Nothing they can do to me. Those judges, including the lawyer of Samuel Twe, were all tampered with. They were all bribed. That wasn't a fair fight. That's $6.2 million. Just the two over it. He take it all, his share of money is enough for all of them. The rest he gone with it. That what happened? There is no way those people could have gone and sat behind the bench there and just, speak in the interest of Samuel Twe that I let him go all that money alone. They know Samuel Twe took that money. They know Samuel Twe have that money. They know he really hasn't even gone into it. So the only way they can get him a freedom, he had to definitely stretch his hands. That's what I said before. I don't see LBR going anywhere. I don't see it. Now I know. Marvin Cole, you want your share of that $6.2 million. So what you doing now? You coming to play your part of card. You want your share. You do. So you playing a hypocritical game. Yeah? You're making it to look, of course, you know that you are speaking in the interest nationally for the country and the people. But why you are not against Samuel Twe, but you want your share. As I said, I don't care what you say, what you do, your go or your conduct. This is no rocket science. We're talking about common sense, just rationalizing things. Do you know when it says 6.2 million that you think we're talking about liberty? You think that liberty we're talking about? Y'all go back and answer that question properly. We are talking about US dollars. 6.2 million. One man. Samuel Twe doesn't even have to work anymore for his life. He even care if he get any position again. He made for lifetime. He made. He didn't need no government job. No. He's made for lifetime. He even need no job. His children doesn't even have to work. His family don't have to do nothing. That money there speak for that man forever and ever. Ever and ever. He quickly and hastily put his foot, step his feet, put all his hands into the cover of the Liberian people. And just, erase every trace to that money. Yes. And I wouldn't even be surprised, besides using some of that money to bribe the bench or the judges, including the lawyer, he never had to share it with any of his colleagues in the party. Because you know what? Each and every one of them stole their own, and they know each other's secrets. So he can just most likely tell them, anybody, space on me, anybody say anything on me, I must say I will bring their story out too. And we all will get indicted about it. We all will get involved. So everybody keep their mouth shut and they protect each other. Marvin Cole, he playing politics with this. He playing politics. He trying to be smart, but he's not smart. He want to be recognized and noticed by Samuel Twe to call him and pinch him small. But they're listening to him again.
As an issue that was Samuel Twe versus the Republic of Liberia. It was the rule of law and establishing facts Because the government went to court? Yes. So it's not a win-win situation. The government was able to get rid of Samuel Twe, lost the jurisdiction over Samuel Twe being brought down guilty because they did not prove the issue. I want to say congratulations to Mr. Twe, but how about Jefferson Camo, the rest of the people that now being brought down guilty? They're going to be in serious problem. So, we welcome that. The justice has been determined and the justice must be served. But we should also be able to look at our friends who are going to prison. That is what I wanted to talk about. And, I listened the other day when Honorable Member Chris Mesa, who's my sister.
That's a valid and salient point that he's making. Let's look at our other friends that are going to court. So what made you think that Samuel Twe shouldn't have gone to court too? But just in few sentences, you are saying congratulations to the win of Samuel Twe, but the other people too, should be looked at. In short, you are telling the people that I think you should revisit that case. You sending out that signal. You letting out that smoke for Samuel Twe to notice you. We know.
Stuff from Bong made a statement. I think it was unfortunate, and I would want to publicly state that I did not participate in the removal of Speaker Kufa because I believe it was unconstitutional. It was a hijack of democracy. It was an attack on our democratic system, and I would never break up it. So when you state in the international platform, and they come in about chat rooms that we have, and they talk about people who did not help to remove Fonati Kufa. Removing Fonati Kufa will never, and it's never a victory to the Republic of Liberia. Because we're saying how the House of Representatives been wrong. Richard Poon and Thomas Fala cannot do all. The lieutenants that are associated with him, with them, they should be able to discharge that function. See, go downstairs. Staff of gasoline have been stolen. Staff of benefit been caught off. Now, people have found it very difficult. Now, it is insinuated, it is alleged, and I'm going to be putting a letter on the floor for an investigation that in fact people are asking people for money before they place them on payroll. That have never happened here before. Go in a corridor, do your own investigation. Staffers are going through all of those kind of things. I think it's wrong, and we should not have that kind of thing happening here. The pensions, benefits that were to be given to old people who suffer in this place, those monies have been stolen, they have been eaten. Nothing going on. Benefits of lawmakers, some of them, they took an armed veteran that more than.
When you started advocating for those things, when last you started talking? When last you started talking? Marvin Cole talking about other people being affected, the benefits not being given to them and all those stuff. All of you are making your ways. You are making your ways too. To be able to suck your own out of our country. When last you started advocating for other people?
27,000 United States dollar gasoline was seized under the so-called suspension that they had, even though the court determined that what you did was ultra virus, and then they came back and said, well, unconstitutional pay the people. They have not done that. So members and ladies and gentlemen of the press, I thought to state my opinion on this matter and call on the executive to withdraw from interference with the other branches of government and allow our integrity institutions to function, more especially the House of Legislature.
When George Weah were there, when the House or the branches of other government was interfering with like the executive or other stuff, even in the removal of Cabinet Janet, you didn't come out here running and busting your mouth. You didn't come out here saying those nonsense. But because you are feeling threatened, that's why you are so excited that Samuel Twe got away with what he got away with. And you're fighting for Yeke Koluba to get away with his own. So you know that you are protected. That obviously when you do your own, nothing should happen. We know. Like I said, District 3, Bong County, they are unfortunate to get such a representative. I bet you visit this man district. No sign of development. You go there. He get the district funds and he just spend it for his own self. He don't spend it on the district. Just what Yeke Koduba been doing.
And then the judicial branch of government that should be the only arbiter of justice in our country. When they are tampered with like that, there is a problem. Lastly, I didn't think about that, and I want to talk about the president of the Republic of Liberia need to reconsider his action at the LAA. The Liberian land authorities in this country, if Q is not taking to do more due diligence about land matters that go to court and how those matters are adjudicated, now we will go back to a serious crisis. Everything that comes, there are two problems in this country. If it's not about land, it's about divorce, it's about this, so it's a problem. So I think the president needs to rethink about it and look at somebody who will be able to give proper information to the court about land matters. So thank you, and I will take one or two questions.
Yes, so on Cole, my name is Prince, and I report for Prime FM. So I'd like you to provide the clarity for us and the public. You mentioned that the justice in Chimbo, Joseph Kaba, is now facing a dilemma into stating whether the rate for the court was received by the House or not. Now, on record, the Secretariat of the House told us, the press and the public, that rate was not received. As a member of the House, what's your funding? What have you gathered?
I mean, we should not do that. That has been irresponsible, and I hope that we should not be able to do that. Now, the sheriff of the court did his return, and the sheriff said the writ was served. So I am saying I have credible information that Justice Kaba is suffering. He's in a dilemma, whether or not, because the precedent writ orders have been served on secretaries, on office staffers, in offices of the Supreme Court. So if you said that the writ was not served, then you are telling the Supreme Court is lying, because the sheriff did his return and said that the writ was served. So it's not in the place, or it's not the place of the House of Representatives to determine how orders of the Supreme Court are served. I mean, it's just a problem. That's misguidance. Whoever advised in the House of Representatives will have the same situation during the fanatical incident. They have these kind of wrong pieces of advice. And when you continue to do that, you'll continue to culture, you'll continue to breed lawlessness at the House of Representatives and the legislature. That is what's happening. No freedom of speech. By the time somebody want to come after you because they believe that you will be backed by lawlessness. So how can the sheriff? So if the Supreme Court comes out and say the writ was not served, then the sheriff that did his return, of which for Yeke Koduba people have copy of the return of the sheriff that the writ was served on this lady in the offices of the chief clerk. So I mean, what happens? So they lady need to be brought. So I am telling you that the writ was served to the House of Representatives, was not served to the House of Representatives. That is the determination that the justice in Chamber has to make, because the justice in Chamber knows very well that there are so many precedents that writ have been served in so many ways. They even give it to house tenants. They even give it to office attendants. They give it to people. So there is no specific way that writ or precedents from the Honorable Supreme Court or any other court should be served.
Bro, J. Marvin Cole, whether writ was served, writ was not served, all we know, you are fighting, as you said, for Yeke Koduba to receive its benefits. You are awarding Yeke Koduba evil, and Yeke Koduba should not be awarded. You are awarding Yeke Koluba evil. You said it plainly. You're advocating for Yeke Koluba to get his benefits. That means that today or tomorrow, any one of you, even you, when you do something that affects the nation or the country, you should definitely walk away a free man. You should walk away a free man. You're sitting there, you're advocating for people that swore or that took an oath to protect the nation, and they betray the country. Something national issue like that affecting the entire nation. Whereas minor common thing, like people like Prophet Key, you're jailing, you're guarding, lavishing behind bars. Just common thing. All because of what? Prophet Key is not in the house. Prophet Key does not have the connection. You're the same people when Prophet Key spoke for before. He was doing and saying the right thing. But this time around, you're punishing him. Only because he doesn't have that connection. But you are looking at your own colleagues. Your own colleague there that after swearing to protect the nation, he turned around, he betrayed the nation. Something that also too, he should be in court by now for, and you are advocating for him to get benefit. Instead of speaking on what's really matter, you say the justice is blind. You're opening your mouth to talk about Prophet Key coming out. That Prophet Key should not be treated the way he's being treated. But your people, your colleagues like yourself that are stealing from our country cover. Your people there that being corrupt, that destroying that country. Physically. You are awarding them for the evil. But just words that are being used, something that all of you yourself can use. Even your lawmaker use it. You see how you are biased? Everything you do it in your own interest and not the Liberian people.
That there's a prescribed guidelines of the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, this case is the litmus test for the justice in chamber. Because if it said the writ was not served, you undermine the integrity of that sheriff, then the sheriff should be dismissed and even prosecuted. Then the sheriff misled the Honorable Supreme Court. That is my call to the Chief Justice. And we are watching Justice Kabal very, very keenly with a distant political and ego eye. That justice must be dispensed without favor or fear. Do not, Honorable Associate Justice, give credence.
Justice should be dispensed without favor or fear. Strong words to use. Justice. Where is the justice in supporting Yeke Koluba for his act? Where is the justice? Where is the justice in supporting Samuel Twe for the $6.2 million that got missing? That you're claiming it allegedly to say that, he was accused falsely. Where is that justice? You're watching with eagle eyes, keenly watching. LBR-Radio, where are we going? Where are we going? What?
So Daniel Sandu, who said the president removed Yeke Koluba. I think he desecrated the sacrament of the presidency and shifted doubt cloud over the presence of Joseph Yoman Bwaka, because he shouldn't have made that statement. That is not a credible, and a deputy minister of integrity would never have made such a statement that he made. I mean, this is recklessness to the highest degree, and people should not be afraid to address what kind of threats.
Chief, thank you so much. My name is Bong, and I report for the Verity newspaper. This concern regarding Honorable Yega Koluba's statement on this entire border issue. From your end, what do you make of his statement? Is it in line with freedom of speech? As an honorable lawmaker, you have taken an oath to keep the sanctity of the House of Representatives and to push in the interest of the country. What do you make of that statement made on the
Anything that tends to undermine the Constitution. I'm not members of the Supreme Court to define what freedom of speech is required by the Constitution. It's not my place. But I believe that everybody has the right to speak, but there is a responsibility to the speeches that I made. So I cannot tell you, the first thing I want to say, I would have never encouraged or support anybody coming in my house to try to burn my house, or my son come out and say, yeah, the man was right. Even no matter what I have done in my house does not give anyone the legitimacy to come in my house to try to burn it or evict me from out of my house unlawfully. So I do not support the statement if you made that statement. That will be determined. There's a procedure. I think the government.
Oh, Marvin Cole, because you even deserve being called honorable. Shut up. Marvin Cole, shut up. If you don't know what to say, you just said a few moments ago, you said that Yeke Koluba should receive his benefits. What do you think you're playing politics out of the whole thing here for? You need to keep quiet if you don't even know what to say. You're saying that the man, should not have said what he said, but then now you also too said earlier that he should get his benefits. What side are you on? What are you precisely telling the Liberian people? How confused are you? You want to have 1 4 in and 1 4 out. 1 4 in the UP, 1 4 in the CDC camp. You can't serve two masters. Here, Marvin Cole, you cannot serve two masters. Even the Bible says it. This political game you play, it will catch up with you. Yourself, you will sleep. And Yege Koluba will not get no benefit. I will say unto the court, our Supreme Court, I will say unto you, they did not do well. They did not do well. They were tampered with. Regarding Samuel Twe case, that lawyer that represented him, that has no element of dignity at all. He must swear say he was sipping his juice in his cup after obtaining victory. Charge and bill lawyer with his stomach in the wheelbarrow. You are a disgrace to your children and your family. Samuel Twe lawyer, you are a disgrace to your children and your family. Because you got your share of the money, the 6.2 that he stole from the Liberian people cover. So you sold your country. You sold the Liberian people out. And our naive brothers and sisters all jumping over the place. Oh, we the sedition have won. We have won. You tell us what you benefited from it. Where you're benefiting from, some of y'all can't even afford the next day meal for your children before I say yourself. A lot of y'all going to bed hungry because you got to be able to starve yourself just for your children to eat. A lot of y'all don't even have the means of even paying your children's school fees. Even if you can, your children walk to and fro from school, going through hardship in torn uniform or regular uniform. They don't even have a 30 feet wear. They can even eat 3 times a day, square meal. And you say you're celebrating a man. Just one man that went with $6.2 million. How does that benefit you? How are you people being benefited by it, or how? I mean, what has he given you people? Now I understand. Before I used to believe that Judge we were using some kind of juju or voodoo on your Liberian people, but it's just sheer stupidity. Sheer stupidity that you Liberians, or I say every Liberian, but you foolish Liberian that share or that celebrate such nonsense that affects you people negatively instead of positively. Sheer stupidity. That's what you got. Because how does the winning of all the freedom of Samuel Twe affects you people and your children or your family? How? You got to ask yourself that question, negatively or positively. The money he stole, is he sharing it with you people? Is he? Do you know what $6.2 million could do for your family, for that country? Give you a decent hospital for treatment. Do you know how many persons die every month, every year, just from the slightest complication in that country? Just someone said their hair hurting. Their head is hurting. And they take them over there. And they don't make it. They don't come out. They go put someone under the knife in GFK. They don't come out. Yeah? You got to go pay for bed. Or else you'll be on the floor or standing up. They don't even have a fitting drugstore in GFK. And a lot of you can't even afford private hospitals or clinics in that country. So how is the fact that Samuel Twe being victorious and walking away with $6.2 million is positively affecting your lives and the lives of your children? That you are so celebrating him being successful. I pity Liberia.
The statement made by Daniel Sano undermines the integrity of this government. Let's assume that Yeke made a statement that was treasonous. What the procedure was, in my mind, the Ministry of Justice should have written the speaker.
Daniel Sano, what Daniel Sano said is important for you to pay attention to, you want to elaborate on. But the tracing that Yeke Koduba committed is not important enough for you to run your sting mouth on you, J. Marvin Cole, or Kobe. J. Marvin Cole, rather. Daniel Sano, what he said, how does it affect the nation? How does it affect, the nation in a way as what Yeke Koduba did? And you say you won't play politics here.
A statement made attributed to Yeke Koluba undermines the national security interest of our country because a Guinean soldier is dressed up in their military paraphernalia and they cross the river and can planted their flag on our soil. That is a military invasion.
Oh, you know all of that. You know all of that. But you're advocating for Yeke to get his benefit. You think that you're smart. You think that you're a smart representative. You think you're making sense. But I just sorry for the common man that the common man is the one that can believe you or believe the nonsense you're talking. You know all of that. The Guinean soldier in their fatigue or their camouflage, the plenty, their flag on the soil of another nation. What does that mean? You interpreting it? A symbol of war, aggression. But yet, you are saying that Yeke Koluba should receive his benefits. J. Marvin Cole, you're a disgrace. You are a disgrace. I don't get it.
And Yeke is supporting that.
Oh, Yeke is supporting that. But earlier you said that before the journalists then started asking you, you said that Yeke should get his benefits. You're not in favor of Yeke not getting his benefits. He should get his benefits. Oh. These guys.
So Yeke immunity should be lifted by this honorable house or allow him to face justice. And Yeke should have been investigated. And Yeke should have been charged by whatever crime and sent to the court. The court should have the opportunity, and Yeke should have the opportunity, to go to the court and defend himself and bring his proof.
Because y'all know that y'all bribed the court again. Y'all just exhibited such attitude with Samuel Tue. So that the only reason you're pushing Yeke case to the court, or you won't start helping to push a case to the court, where you would say that, the Yeke can say the court is only where we can get our redress. But when he read it to, he cursed the court up. He go down on the court when Yeke ready. Then he can say that's the only place we can get our redress. We believe. Oh, you believe in the court. But soon the court speak in such terms that doesn't favor you, then you don't believe in them. You want to push it. Yeke case to the court because you know you got the court around your fingers too. It tells the Liberian people, it tells us one thing. The government being fair. The government is no way tampering with the court or trying to bend the court to their rules. They're allowing the court to operate freely. That's why in the first place, the court is compromised. That is why the court being compromised. During George Weah time, that court will even be heavily compromised, that they will always get what they want. And that's the same thing you have crossed over with. You're still tampering with the court. You're the seditions. You're the oppositions. Because if you were not tampering with that court, Samuel Tue would never have been a free man. Now, you J. Marvin Cole, you also helping to push. You helping to push Yeke Koluba case to the court. So the court can come out tomorrow to say, you know what, Yeke Koluba, he did not actually commit treason. He did not do anything. So his rights should be restored, his benefits should be paid. Because you have soiled the hands of the court.
And if the court determines that Yeke is guilty of treason, Yeke, that was going to be a ground for his removal.
Oh, shut up. You know the court will not say Yeke is is guilty of treason. As I said, you just proved it with Samuel 12 case. You're trying to play politics on both sides of your mouth. You just prove it with Samuel 12 case. You take the same damn thing here to the court, or Yeke Koluba will win too. And you will use it to make the government look bad. Y'all come out again saying that, oh, y'all see, all we've been talking about this government here is totally a bad government. The government here being harassing the lawmakers or the Liberian people. The government being lying on people and all those stuff there just to spoil the reputation of the government. This is pure politics. At the end of the day, make the government to look bad in the eyes of the Liberian people. That's what you are doing. Or that's what you are doing here, Marvin Cole. That's what you are doing. That's exactly the hell what you are doing, Marvin Cole. Yeah? You have soiled the hands of the Supreme Court. Yeah? Their hands are stained with corruption. The Supreme Court hands are stained with corruption. Themselves, they need to be, investigated. The court self needs to be investigated. The court needs to be cleaned up. They are no more operating in the interest of the Liberian people. They are no more working in the interest of the Liberian people. Instead, they are there being compromised. They are there, enriching themselves under those benches. Then when you see them looking at some innocent people.
That was the procedure. When people want to please the awkwardness of the law, they want to please their masters. So even if they tell you go and kill, you will go kill. Because those who, like the likes of Daniel Sano, who said it is the president that all remove Yeke Koluba. Why?
Daniel Sano business is still a problem to you. Is that the issue there? That's why I'm asking. How Daniel Samuels are saying what have been discussed by the president, or between there and the president, affects the country. After all, what you say is affecting an individual that basically betrayed the country, an individual that took an oath and lied to the Liberian people and the Constitution, betrayed the Constitution. So they are going for a good cause. Even if he should have any discussion with the president, but that ain't come out to say it, they are fighting a good cause. They are going against the one that betrayed the Constitution, the one that betrayed the country, the one that betrayed the Liberian people. They are not going against the Liberian people. You fool, Marvin Cole.
You take pride into that kind of statement. That doesn't make sense to any civilized democratic system. How you take pride. So I believe strongly, Yeke as a lawmaker and all of us as lawmakers of this republic, we should be responsible about the comments we made in the public, because people are looking up to us for leadership.
Marvin Cole, you are a fool again. I will say 1,000 times. Marvin Cole, you are a fool again. You are another damn corrupt being, Marvin Cole. You are. Yeah? You don't even know how to play politics properly. Anyone can see through you. Yeah? Anyone can see through you. You mess up.
You don't just speak recklessly. So I condemn any reckless speech. We should not just make statements and make altercations about issues that we don't have a justifiable reasons. We should not.
Yes, sir. So my name is Aaron Kuba, and I manage DN News Liberia. I got two concerns. Just on the point that you just relaxed on about Yeke should have been turned over to the court. what would you say about your rules that calls for reprimanding members if they bring the body to public disrepute? Doesn't that fall in line with it? If like a statement that you just mentioned, it was reckless. The statement was reckless.
I didn't tell you that your statement was reckless.
You mentioned reckless. Someone making.
You did, Marvin Cole. You said it. You said his statement was reckless. At the same time, previously, you said that Yege should get his benefits. You said it. Don't lie.
Reckless statement. So if such a statement you want to consider as being reckless,
no, when you're in class and you listen to the instructor.
When you consider that, you mentioned recklessness.
Yeah, but I didn't say Yeke was reckless.
So if someone made a reckless statement as a lawmaker,
God.
If someone made a reckless statement as a lawmaker, don't you think it falls?
That Yege Koduba you talking about?
The dispute at which the law laid down by the legislature can be used to reprimand that person. That's one. Secondly, do you believe that due process was exhausted in this case? Because there's one of the issues that a lot of Yeke ran to the court for. I know you may have said that along the way, but in mentioning the word due process as to whether it was actually applied or not, do you or do you not believe that due process was applied? Now, to the case of Samuel Twe, the folks in the opposition believe Samuel Twe was the hook of the entire case, and he had been left off the government's target to be found guilty. He was found not guilty. And you are saying you are condemning the act as some individuals who are celebrating. They said that Jefferson Campbell and the others are your personal friend, or this is a sincere.
No, I think as a leader, let me start with that. As a leader of this country, and we should not set a precedent that will make ordinary, so to speak, ordinary members of the opposition to be afraid. I mean, we should not give them an opportunity that they should not be able to fight for opposition, because it's not about big names. What I'm trying to send to the opposition as a bloc, as a unit, it should not be about big names. It should be about the lowest. If somebody comes from the lowest to the top, if that person has an issue, the opposition should take that as important as Samuel Twe. If Jefferson Campbell is convicted, it should be a sad day for the opposition. So let me tell you what's going to happen. If Samuel Twe was going to be brought down guilty, and then Jefferson Campbell and the likes of the others released, the opposition were going to criticize the government. They were going to criticize the government, and that was going to be wrong. I mean, the whole scenario surrounding.
Brother, as I said earlier, and I retain my statement, that one, I can see through you. You're looking for recognition. You want to be part of that 6.2 saga. Yes. You want Samuel Twe, you want to eat your own from Samuel Twe as well. Looking at Jefferson Campbell being putting down for such thing, and Jefferson Campbell never won like Samuel Twe, blah 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 and thing. No. You are trying everything possible to be recognized. You want to be part of that 6.2 saga issue. You want to get your part of court. You want to get your part of issue. You want to pretend that you advocating as well for, like you said, even the common man, the man got name, that the bigger man should be up there. If to say Samuel Twe were going to win, of course, he was going to lose rather, that the opposition were going to speaker and blah, blah, blah. And that one, J. Marvin Cole, you only wanted to call you on the side and close your mouth. And I would not be surprised if it happened. Not like you're speaking on behalf of the other people, no. You're speaking on behalf of your own pocket. What are you doing, Marvin Cole?
Their action, not a smart game. They find that members of the opposition has been brought down guilty. In my opinion, yes, there were not sufficient evidence produced or adduced in court against Samuel Twe, but the others are on the hook. So why are you celebrating? because the whole Samuel 12 is released, D12 is free, D12 is free. So the opposition celebration, yes, we could have just said, Honorable Samuel D12, congratulations, that at least you are off. But all of us, the opposition should make a statement by this time to say we empathize with the rest of the people, and if they are remedies under the laws, they should be able to take advantage of that.
Oh God. Yeah. I will watch in the days to come. Yeah, I'm watching in the days to come to see and know how CDC going to respond to Marvin Cole. What even Samuel 12 is going to say to Marvin Cole. Because the politics here he playing. Marvin Cole is trying to maneuver his way into Samuel 12 pocket too. These freaking politicians, they don't love Liberia. They don't. It's all about themselves. They don't. It's party over the country. It's money over the country. They just don't love Liberia.
That's what we should be talking about. Asking all the opposition members to keep kind, because that's one of us. The second thing I talk about recklessness is not only about lawmakers, it's about all citizens in the Republic of Liberia. You should not tell me reckless statement. That's what I meant. I did not say Yeke made reckless statement. I am saying if Yeke made a statement that you feel was reckless, and then you want to prosecute Yeke for the procedure in my mind, that the executive, because you, listen,
brother, you said it all. Even if you say if Yeke, in short, you're still saying that you feel that Yeke was not wrong. You agree. You agree with Yeke's statement. That equates you to also to, you know, being a traitor to the country. That equates you to being a traitor to the very oath you swear to or you took. Birds of the same feathers flap together. Yeke betrayed our nation, and he's supporting the act of Yeke betrayal. He also committed treason right there as well. You need to be dragged to court. Yeke still needs to be dragged to court. You people are not correct in our country. You are not.
I'm taking my cue from what Daniel Sano said. So it's not even the letter that was written by Small Barba. Daniel Sano is saying the single reason that we remove, the president removed Yeke Koloba for is because Yeke made this statement. So it is not Daniel Sano that have indicted the government.
So what?
So Daniel Sano is telling the
Can you compare what Yeke said as compared to what Daniel Sano said? Daniel Sano is just saying this, saying of course. You know what Yeke has said previously and the decision that was taken, why it was taken.
That is what he's saying. And I think it is wrong for our democracy. So
democracy.
You talk about due process. I'm not the victim. I'm not the accused. So I can't determine whether due process were accorded him or not. The man who have ran to the court is saying, I did not get due process. He's a victim, right? He's the one that is injured. But in my mind, listening to the chairman on Rules and Administration,
I don't see what made him a victim. In fact, I don't blame him for running for justice. Because by this time, Yeke should be in jail behind bars. As I said, that couldn't happen in this great nation or country that we live in, America. Yeke will be waiting. While he waiting for his due process, no, he will not be waiting with freedom to be talking about he going around and campaigning. He will have been waiting for his due process behind bar in America here. And you, Marvin Cole, you know the truth. Yourself, you've been traveling around, you've been to America here. That due process you're talking about, that Yeke should get, while Yeke is waiting for that due process, he will be behind bars in this country waiting for that due process. Well, because Liberia, that's some kind of country. Liberia, that's some kind of country that anybody can do anything and walk away with it. Oh, I don't blame you corrupt leaders that we have in our country. You're right to do what you're doing. Because even the common men don't even know their own left from their right. You have hypnotized those poor people to only see party, but not even see country. That's what you have done. You hypnotized those people.
You know, we got president here. When you bring a lawyer can't talk for you. Who in a civil life? I have questioned what is happening at the underground school of law. You award degrees to these people that come sit down and embarrass the whole country like this? Somebody who say you come from underground school of law? Is that what you're saying? That you wrote somebody, bring your lawyer. The intent of bringing my lawyer is for my lawyer to defend me. Now, but you tell me, no, you just brought a lawyer might just sit down and listen, a lawyer without rules here.
But that's not even the case. Yeah, the House has its own rules. And it made it very, very clear. They are not in court where the lawyer actually is to practice. Yeah, they want your lawyer to listen and watch as a witness as the transaction goes on between the representatives and things in the house there. So the lawyer can take note to know that when a serious part comes, how they can defend you. They didn't call, they didn't tell you to bring your lawyer in order to come and stand in court and defend you. No. They called the lawyer to watch the transaction between you people, to stand as witness for you. Not to come and preach and defend. No. Just to be fair to you. Because tomorrow, if they were going to say, oh, just come alone, don't bring no one else and thing, then you will say, oh, they were unfair. I do have a lawyer. My lawyer needs to be involved, or my lawyer needed to have been around and thing and so forth. How will you just call me and my lawyer not part of it, or no defendant? So they gave you the opportunity. They didn't give you the opportunity for you to abuse it. That's not the courthouse for the lawyer to come there and practice his law.
My brother, you see, you went to law school. Article 38 says due process. And that due process is not required, it's not laid down or defined by you, the chairman on rules, order, and administration. It is defined by the Constitution, and the interpretation hangs on the Honorable Supreme Court.
Want Yege to go to the court there, and after you have bribed those judges there and lawyers, so you'll come out against the government again.
Require, if you accuse me, you should produce evidence against me. Okay, when you are producing, you are required to produce evidence against me. It means that there should be a full hearing, right?
Because you have already saw the hands of the court. And you clean up your mess. That's what you did. Nobody's stupid here. Nobody's stupid here. You saw the hands of the court with corruption. And you clean up your mess. That's why you say the court is blind. The same cloth that you use to tie the eyes of that statue is the same cloth you use to tie the eyes of those judges. The same cloth you use to tie the eyes of the Liberian people. And the actual cloth, the duplicate cloth, not even duplicate, But the cloth you use, instead of it being the reality, you use corruption cloth to tie the eyes of those judges. You use corruption cloth to tie the eyes of the Liberian people. That's what you did. Yeah. At the end of the day, you want Yeke case to come out too as one of the winning cases. So today or tomorrow, it makes the government looks bad too. You're finding all kinds of ways as sedition to make sure your dig hole and push this administration inside, or the Unity Party inside, that tomorrow, come 2029 election, they will have no face for the Liberian people, and y'all will win with ease. That's why you're doing all these things, we know.
Somebody should be able to defend me. You should be able to look at the evidence, whether the thing you said about me are true. But now you can't say no, because, inducement. The chairman on Rules Order and Administration and some of our police were under the influence and affluence of Daniel Sando. That was happening. That was political alcoholism.
Just a follow-up, please. Just a follow-up on that issue of the due process and lawyer coming to
political alcoholism, and what we will say about the court. Now it's in political alcoholism that you give them for them to rule on behalf of Samuel Twe. Political alcoholism. That's not the same thing you did to those judges to rule in the favor of Samuel Twe. Y'all want to do the same thing for Yeke Koluba. We know that's what you're fighting for. These guys, they get drafted. They can face the camera with both face, no shin face.
Member, those invited in at the House or the Senate, or even member of the House when they are need for investigation. As legislative reporter, I have unique. Your practice as member of the House, you always invite people to come with lawyers. When they come with those lawyers, they are not placed on an oath. They don't make statement during the year.
Who not placed on oath?
The lawyers are not placed on oath, as in your practice are always said. So the committee has said it's one of that doctrine they were fighting.
Which instance can you cite?
When, for example, when officers of government are invited by the House, by the legislature, they are told to come with their legal representation. When they do come, the lawyers are not placed on an oath. The lawyer do not IQ like what we see in the courtroom. I just want to get clarity on that.
It's true. It been happening. It is you, the representatives and the senators, are placed on the oath. That's, as I said earlier, that's not the courthouse where they argue. That's not the courthouse where they practice their lawsuits and things. It been happening. So what make your case to be different? Now defend it now. Defend it. Come and tell us bull crap here and lies.
But the thing is, we have quasi authority, right? And we do
quasi authority
investigation. Let's assume that the director of LBR-Radio committed a crime. To no disrespect to Emon Twe before, he listened to this and then come after me. I'm not saying he committed any crime, but I assume that happened, and then we invited him. Many times you see that lawyers are speaking, the invitee is just allowed to make a statement. There are background conversations.
Oh. So you know it happened. You know that Yeke case is not just the first case. Regardless of background conversation, you know it happened. So I make it wrong this time.
Forgot about the lawyer, even though we invited the lawyer, but this is another, maybe, I don't want to say it's not a serious matter.
So because Yeke case, they never had a background conversation to tell him, say, my man, forget about the lawyer. So I made him part of case special. Liberian people, what you have to say about you? To say about it there. The mayor is saying, Marvin Cole is saying, with other people, there are background, conversation that goes on, and they talk to them, oh, my man, forget about the lawyers, you don't have to involve them, and blah, 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 and thing. But Yeke case, they did not tell him, or they never had a background discussion with him to forget about the lawyers. So that was pissing it off.
But background conversations are held. And based on a background conversation, but an issue where you intend to expel members, that person must be accorded.
Oh, J. Marvin Cole, you just full of BS. You full of nonsense. You full of nonsense. The journalist put you on the spot. The reporter put you on the spot. How are you trying to talk your way out of it? Tell us. Because the other people in the background, they talk to them to lead a lawyer out of it. And they did not talk to Yeke Koluba in the background to lead a lawyer out. What does that tell you? The House can do whatever they want. It's not bounded upon them to do it to everyone across the floor. Why if the House don't want to talk to him leaving a lawyer out? How is that a problem? And talking about his expulsion from there, that should make it a special case?
Full due process, because you know what? You intend to do something serious about that. Also, most of the invitations that we send out, so now even the people appear, we say, okay, that go in the wisdom of the speaker, the leadership, and say, okay, you know what happened? We send for you, we say, bring your lawyer, and you should answer why you should not be held in contempt. If you actually determined to do a full contempt hearing, that lawyer would not be placed on oath, because he or she is not the one who committed whatever crime. It would be the person who you invited. The lawyer will be able to defend why that person should not be held in contempt. But when you have private and civilized conversation behind the scene, then you don't say, oh, it's a practice. It's not a practice. It's not normal. So somebody like me, if I...
What private and civilized about that? What private and civilized about that? The man did something. A colleague called him. And they gave him the opportunity for his lawyers. Like what they've been doing to other people. To come and be a witness. To whatever that is going to be discussed over there. Other people in the past, have been happening to them. And they made them to understand that the lawyers are not to get involved. The lawyers are not to speak on their behalf. Why should Yeke case be different? He call it civilized conversation. Is that the court horse? Is that the court horse?
Well, as former chairman on Rules Order and Administration, who has an experience and proved legally, so to say, because I've been here for long, I've been around lawyers. Even though I did not go to the underground school of law, that I'm bitterly discouraged to enter there, because their products can say tolerate and then use all kind of elementary conversations. So those are how I say political alcohol. The people who are made of statements.
Finally, from my end, this is Emmanuel from Fish. Taking cue from the Yeke Koluba's issue or Saka, what do you think? What are the reforms you think are needed to prevent similar disputes at the House of Representatives?
To prevent it. Tell us.
I think the House, that's what I talk about, the respectability to the rule of law, for the rule of law. In this country, the executive should understand that the legislature, more especially if you have a speaker here, that it's not secure, doesn't feel secure. The speaker feels that he's being here is completely characterized by the executive. Now, that speaker is not going to be independent. I am hoping that there will be an opportunity in the 56 that those individuals that will come here and there should be a law. We also thinking about it, talking to some of our friends who are in the international circle, that were the Ghanaian members of the parliament or the most difficult person to remove in Ghana is the speaker. It's difficult. Because you know why? Now, Comrecon, they said it here. As President Vargas has placed call and say, you're expel Marvin Cole, whether I did wrong or not, they will start to find the fault to expel me. Because you know why? He did not merit it.
And you just did wrong by supporting Yeke Act.
And he's there.
You said you have betrayed the country right there.
Like doing George Weah administration and George Weah influenced me being speaker. George Weah tell me that tomorrow morning, Prince from Prime FM, make sure he will not enter that. But he will not enter here. You enter.
But George Weah did it with Cabinet Janet. George Weah did it with Cabinet Janet. George Weah never rested until Cabinet Janet was taken out.
They begin nobody. Thank you, man.
So folks, that was it right there. And we listened to J. Marvin Cole speaking rubbish. J. Marvin Cole, you know, things that he was saying, they were not balanced at all. He's a hustler, speaking on behalf of his pocket, as well as trying to play politics from one end of his mouth to the other end. So at the end of the day, we know that these people don't love that nation or that country. And these are the kind of people I'm hoping that come next election, they don't go back into office or offices. However, we'll say, we call it a day. It was a good time spending, you know, this time out here with you guys. Basically, I want to say bye-bye for now until tomorrow by God's grace.